Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back here live on the Speed Zone TV. We are here right now live with Palmetto Racing League as we are now about to begin another hard racing showcase of some of the top tier drivers and some heavy hitters ready to bring it down to the house while at the same time battling the troublesome and very tough to tame computers of our AI generation. So hello, everyone. Welcome back here live on the show here. We are down here in Phoenix Raceway, Arizona, here in Avondale, Arizona. Big opportunity here for these drivers to take some full control of the racing series here and get themselves farther into the point system here. And speaking of that, it's time to take a look at our starting lineup here. Take a look now at our starting lineup here as we are seeing it here on the showcase here. You're starting on the pole here. It'll be Aaron Ziegler in the number 18 machine. On the outside, number 22, that will be Aaron Vaught. Row number 2 will be John Henry. The number 1 outside. The number 36 is going to be Greg West. Row number 3 is Jose Diaz Castillo. And outside of them in the number 45, it'll be Brent Thompson. Row number 4 is the 14 of Christian Schreier on the outside. And the 99, that'll be Tim Bates. Row number 5 is Chris Widener on the 37 on the outside. And the number 83, it'll be Joshua Fix. And row 6, it'll be Travis Stollenberger. And the number 66 on the
Hey
outside
Josh,
of them
I'm
is
having
Josh
a little
Mayu
bit
in
of
the 61.
internet issues, but I'm hoping it just fixes itself. But I don't normally have internet issues, so
Rolling back down onto the trackside here. Some live timing issues here. Okay. Get the drivers now really ready back on their roll here. Wear them back down on the track here and get them ready to roll back on the speedway here as we wait for the green flag lights to trigger on. It looks like some more old graphic gremlins have attacked us there on the live timing booth. Unfortunately, not much we can really do in this case. We're still trying to get them up. Finally got a little bit of a camera system going here. We got the carts rolling onto the track here. The trucks are in play and in the race. The race has begun in here. It'll be Henry onto the gate, taking the early advance. Oh, but there's going to be trouble there on the back straightaway. Massive pile up there right there on the backside here. Good Lord, oh no. Well, that was definitely not what you wanted to ever see here, and that wreck, unfortunately, is going to bring us to the Speed Zone TV instant replay. Speed Zone TV instant replay is being brought to you in part by our friends at VB Racing as well as Workman Outdoors. Let's take a look at the replay here. Came off right down on the bottom lane here. Crashed up ahead here. The number 45 getting taken for a smash. Looks like Pottle kind of trying to get out of that mess there too. Gets trapped in there. Looks like the 95 as well of getting into that mix. The 6, the 7 as well. Good couple of the computer AI generated drivers. Unfortunately getting themselves into a bad little wrap there, and the computer not able to handle what goes on when the human drivers get into play. And he looks like Josh Mayu in the 61 also taking a little bit of a hick there in that one. That is your Speed Zone TV instant replay. Again, presented by our friends at Workman Outdoors and VB Racing. A big thank you to them as well for helping sponsor the league up for the season. They are the ones helping keep the lights on and the bills paid and being able to help keep us go streaming on Saturday night. of the field right now, getting squared back up here, ready to roll back out on the speedway. Henry and Castillo, two main competitors here for the computer-based system here. They are both looking to try and take everybody down to the line, trying to take everyone for a good collision course here into victory lane. These truck laps right now kind of fielding down here. We're going to go ahead and square them back up here next time on by. There you see the pace lights fall off on the cactus there. Field will bring our way down off of turn number 2 from the dog leg and set us up down the back straightaway here. Ziegler making his first ever debut here with the Palmetto Racing League. Henry Castillo, you've seen them last time out as well. They're going to try and see what they can do and bring down the tables and bring down the house. Opportunities are very much in play here, and it could be a big jump and a spot on this lane here. We'll see how they do as they roll them back down off of turn number 3. The unique starting zone of Phoenix Raceway here. That checker flag starts right just off of turn number 4. Green is out, and here we go again. And right out of the gate here, we're going to see Henry Castillo going to have to pull up right there with Ziegler and Shriver. Both drivers right now looking for some top dog honors and top spots here. Ford, Toyota, and Chevy represented on the top 3. Driver last time out taking the victory at Martinsville, looking to try and get another win at a track he's well famous for. It was his first track he ever got a racing win on in league session ever. Ziegler looking to get his first ever in this league. Tough competition have to go up against here. Roll up right up on the outside. Big jump there from the 14. They slow him down a little bit there. The 117 gets pulled back and shoots the gap right off. Double trouble. There goes the 14 for the lead. Henry Castillo right now gonna have to fight out there as West and Vogt as well look on from behind. Ziegler is now trapped in the top 5 panic. All drivers now just trying to get what they can, try to find some speed underneath the queen as well. There you see Christopher Corley as well. The number 95 machine here moving up the chains here and kind of in the position you saw there just on the back half. Gonna roll right up on hill, it looks like number 6. Being put 2 laps down right now, trying to stay out of trouble there. Castillo right now doing all they can and all they got to run the outside, going down the bottom lane. A bit of a troublesome spot there as caution has blown out. Lights are on. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Oh! Whoops! I don't think that was what Ziegler had in mind there. Castillo going to a whole stop there on the go, and the next thing you know, well, that whole back end got rearranged. Thankfully, it doesn't look like it did any damage to either driver, so they'll get them squared up. Here comes your Speed Zone TV instant replay. Let's take a look at this one. Down the back half here, right in between the number 9, and then you see Joshua 683 getting right there behalf that 989 machine. And a nasty little tumble there. Oh, for the SimLab number 9 Toyota Tundra there. Unfortunately, a tough break there for them. Waxed, stacked, and got put back in a bad attack. Not the place you want to be and not the area you want to go into. You want to try to avoid those at all costs here. Braking points and braking timing zones are going to be extremely crucial here. We talked about it before here when we're running here at Phoenix, but these machines, as about as heavy as they are, you still have to get them to slow down just enough to get into the turn and get on down the track. And that results in a lot of trouble for some drivers, and it really gives them a bit of an issue, which they're going to need to be more observant on as time goes on. Lovecio learning that the hard way, unfortunately, as he got into there with the 989 there of Bates. Big truck is off the field now. He's going down. Driver will lead him. a dead man's hand, as he's nicknamed it. Number 14 Toyota Tundra, representing for some fallen brethren there on the back of that truck, as well as for his sponsors as well. Got that win last time out of Martinsville, now looking to try to get one on a track he is very, very well familiar with and well accustomed to. Ziegler, Castillo, and Henry will look on from the sidelines off the back half, going to the green flag line. Here we go, back to the run. Ayu right now on that 61 as well, looking out from behind, kind of got a little bit of a run off there, kind of trying to find some speed under between. All drivers right now doing what they can, trying to get some momentum going. Ziegler right behind the number 14 as well, now has a bit of a chance here, a bit of an opportunity to start making some moves here. He's hanging in there with him. We saw that earlier on with Aaron Vogt there at Martinsville last time out as well. Looks like Ziegler's kind of figured out his kind of lane preference, kind of his track. Looks like he's going to try to stay more toward the outside of the dog leg. Does not get as much speed on the short run, but the long run, that will do a number. I think that's what he's hoping for. He's what he's looking at right now. He's trying to gain that long run advantage. He's there right there on the back now of the number 14 as they pull him back. All drivers now as they continue to pull their way through. You see some three wide action there mixed in between. Hold up right behind Castillo there. There is Vogt there in the number 2. Caution lights are out again though. Caution is off. Looks like Vogt getting a good run there, and unfortunately getting stopped short as we'll take it to our Speed Zone TV instant replay. Done in part by our friends at VB Racing. Take a look at this here. Nearly 3 wide off the back. Bang, bang, out, and a doubt. That is not a spot you want to go to. Yikes. Yeah. Yikes. Criminy and all jinkies all around. I didn't say all my source material was new and refurbished, guys. That was your Speed Zone TV instant replay. Unfortunately, there for Joshua fixed, and it looked like as well. So it looks like the number 53 there, that was David Martin there that got into that little skirmish. Bit of a troublesome spot there. Oop. Hang on, folks. We're going to have to fix that up on our live timing sheet there. Man, you'd think by now you'd think by now iRacing would have, when they changed the overlays up, would make sure they find like a little key button, make sure that we don't ever have those pop up on around here. But unfortunately, the old live timing sheet's kind of making a little bit of a hiccup for us there. But kudos to iRacing. Gotta give them credit as well, folks. They have done a numerous amount of great job just getting this service and everything set to a fine standard that honestly most should be looking for. And that's exactly what we're hoping to see right now as we bring them back to the green flag. Here it will be Strider and Ziegler there reading them off to the line. Big jump on the number 14 there, and the number 16 of Ziegler is supposed to be driving the 18 today, but it looks like a 16 was what kind of stuck on, so we'll stick with what we see on the truck. As how we always do it here in the announcing world. We don't go just off of what you see on the left side of your screen. We got to go what we see on the machines. Mayu right now currently having a good battle there with Chris Widener as the number 37 machine trying to fight back and trying to fight hard. Widener doing everything he can to keep Josh Mayo at bay, but Josh doing a good job doing what he needs to do to stay one step ahead of the third spot as we got trouble right off of turn number 2 there. Looks like that is Henry in the number 1 going for a spin, whip, and a tail as the caution has flown. Don Henry, one of our faster drivers there earlier on, set the pole speed and set the timing earlier, now finds himself trapped in the back. And he got rack stacked and got put down from an attack. Here is the instant replay. Came right out there. Look at Aaron Vogt there. The Timcast number 2 tips up. It looks like the number 40, excuse me, it looks like it's the 5. And slams the number 1 right off the side there. And unfortunately, nowhere to go. Alex Horn gets the chrome dome on the old chrome horn there. And that machine gets sent square right into the number one there of Henry. A tough break there for him. We'll have to see if he can get that thing all calculated back into existence and make sure it's ready to bring down to the house. You see a thing with these AI drivers, man, is these guys are actually getting these calculations done right on the fly. So they are having to figure things out, adjust the speed, the endurance, and the control of each and every single one of these drivers, whether they be another AI competitor or if they are from the human race here, taking them down and about. Man versus computer is something never most would have thought or dreamed of and how crazy it would be, but man, oh man, has it become one of the standards and one of the things that we have looked very hard into as we continue our crazy day-to-day routine and life we live in. Caution lights are now off of the pace truck and off the track now. That means one thing, one to go to green. Pace truck off the track now. We'll bring him down the back straightaway here. Ready to roll them down onto the circuit and send them on their way. Back on around off of turn number 3 to 4 into the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. Green flag back on out and send them on down their way. Driving down on that extreme bottom lane there again, that will wear and tear up the tires a bit. You got to be wondering yourself, how much more will that be doing on drivers like the 14 as well as Ziegler there in the number 16? As that now makes the big jump there. I talked about earlier about that long run, and there is the move. Big jump on the outside there, and just like a good run, and just like a good long runner in a marathon, take control and take full distance of this one. Ziegler has now taken the lead. As caution is blown out again, we're going to have to go to our Speed Zone TV to replay once again, figure out what exactly started that up. That caution out once again. Hard to believe that once more trouble be a brewing and trouble has shown its ugly head. Got to figure out what happened exactly here. As we look at the replay, right there in between three, almost four deep there, looks like the throttle bottle have a little bit of a go at the AI there, and unfortunately, I think that might have all but kind of added on to her tally list of damage done on the truck. Back a look at the replay here again. Oh yeah, right there, basically a 6.6 looked like it kind of came into a bit of a slowdown there. And I hate to tell people this, but it's only so fast and slow you can slow a truck down with these things. And massive damage there on the side, the front of the 06. A tough break there for Pottles. Let's see if the throttle Pottles can try to get this one back in, but it looks like right now she may be virtuing very close to the penalty of too many incident points. All it takes is 20 of those, and you're out of the race. No excuses. Race truck is off the field now. We're going to roll them back here. 26 laps now going to be put in the books here as we roll them right back down the tracks. Ziegler looking on and trying to figure out his strategy and his game plan. It seems as though the 14 doing much of the same. Mayu, Weiner, Horn, and Castillo all looking to try to jump in on this one as everybody. Bit of an interesting little setup onto the restart zone. And Ziegler got a big jump right out of the gate there. Will get the run. Mayu going to get that pass on the inside. We're green and flying. Riding high off that one. Mayu getting a good jump there now, trying to get up there right to Ziegler. The old dead man trying to get up a little bit further up more and trying to take what he can. See the rear end kicking out again. You can see a lot of these drivers, the more they run, the longer they go, it's going to start to slick up and tighten up on them. You get a little bit of that wet dry, if you will, in terms of the corners, where some of that oil kind of slicks up the front, so the rear end kind of kicks out, or you get too much on the tire wear and you're starting to tighten up too much. It pushes you right up close to that wall rather than slipping and sliding. You're pretty much going for a ride. A very interesting dilemma that you have to face off constantly when you are running in this truck series. Mayo dealing with pressure right now from that 14. The dead man is not going to give an inch. Driver wants to take back that second spot and get back to Ziegler here. Trying to prove that Martinsville was not a fluke. As caution lights are on yet again. Yellow lights are on the track. Yellow lights on to the Speed Zone TV Instant Replay. And they're in the portal with us here, folks, because we are now ready to see what is down there. Smacked up into the wall. Oh, and right into the sticks, and the 06 there. Apollo trying to get out of that way and just, oh man. Finished up right there, and unfortunately, I think that might have all but done her race in this case. The Aussie Greg Hill taking the hit, and taking a bit of a shot in the dark from the number 53 of David Martin. A tough break there, and again, you can see the massive damage there on the number 06 with Chantel the throttle bottle. Tough break there. Absolutely nothing they could have done about it, and nothing they can really do in this case. Frustrations run extremely high, and frustration definitely gets the better of anyone that dares to try to fight it out in this dilemma and in this situation. This truck is now ready to clear off all hands on deck. Castillo, Henry, Ullenberger, and Corley now are your top four here. Your first two rows. Right off down there, turn number 3, and now through 4, the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. Green flag back out on the track, and here we go again. Down through the lanes here and onto the track here. Henry Castillo going to move their way through. Oh, 14 there. A driver getting into Sullenberger. Nearly 3 wide deep off as Corley having to get out of that one. Saw there could have been troublesome there, but manages to avoid it. Oh no, enough trouble there between Joshua Fix and it looks like from Christopher Corley Caution out on the track, pile up down in turn number 3 and 4. Not only were the hounds barking, but also the grounds were tarking. The ground and shaking so much there, it seems as though that there was nothing left but to just basically hope for the best. And Joshua Fix overdriving it a little bit too much into turn number 3 and gets it right into the 95 of Christopher Corley. Corley as well, maybe slowing down a bit, trying to get squared up, get his bearings back underneath them. And next thing you know, well, it was not pretty. We're going to have a little bit of a cleanup job to do down there, so we'll get a couple laps around the track as they are currently cleaning up on the circuit. Matthew Corley, excuse me, not Christopher Corley. I apologize. I'm confusing Christopher Bell and the number 4 as well as Chris Widener down there for Corley. So, Matthew, I apologize in advance. We've got everybody now racked and squared up there after that little stop there. Apollo saying good racing so far, indeed, there. But I think maybe we are now getting closer to where things are going to get even more interesting. Can't help but think, honestly, maybe that move from the 14 didn't quite start up that whole dilemma, that whole situation after getting into it there with Sullenberger. Because if had he not gotten into Sullenberger and kind of slowed up Corley there to avoid the wreck, it could have actually been a different scenario, a bit of a different situation, and could have avoided that big old wreck there. But unfortunately, it was not quite meant to be. I think we'll go one more lap around. Now, there was a mandatory caution for lap number 37. It looks like they have now completed it. And it looks like Shriver down there, maybe just trying to get in the mind there of Henry. I don't know how much that's going to get him kind of riled up there, but that definitely looked like he was trying to make sure he was well aware he's there. All drivers now ready to advance into the green again, as we'll throw the caution back out again here. Sullenberger, Horn, Mayu, Boat, Bell, West, and Ziegler. Your top 10. And again, race fans, we want to give a big thank you and a special shout out to the sponsors of the series here today, Workman Outdoors and VB Racing. Again, it is Workman Outdoors and VB Racing sponsoring today's action as well as the full season end. A big thank you to them and a big thank you to all drivers that have been able to make it out here onto the scene and onto the track. Definitely could not do it without them. Patiently still waiting as the mandatory caution being cleared up, getting taken care of. All those drivers that had to go into pit row, give themselves a little bit of a fresh thing of gas and some fresh good years to run onto the circuit. Momentum going to be extremely keen and proficient in order to contain and control the long legs of this race. Looks like this next time on by, we should be getting ready to go green. Yep. Oh! Well, I'm not sure if maybe that was just a little too eager or maybe it was just trying to keep Henry on his toes, but that one looked a little bit suspicious there from that 14. Gotta be careful about that. Doesn't want to try to wreck this whole field out. Lord knows you can ask Hart in the 1996 US 500 about that when they didn't even get across the line there. The field is now set and ready to bring it back down on the track side here onto the back straightaway here, entering for turn number 3. Watch for Henry to set the pace. Driver Sullenberger, Horn, West will follow. Turn 3 into 4 to the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. And jump them onto the green. Green's back out. Up top, high side, round to the track and round onto the circuit. All drivers right now battling hard for positions, jockeying for their run. We have yet to see that long green flag run lap, and I guarantee you that if these guys get put into that position, it's going to definitely make things a little bit harder on them and a lot more interesting in this case, because then it's going to show you how that tire wear and that run can be played in an advantage here. Henry right now will continue to handle the lead here as Shriver continues to hunt down. Meanwhile, Horn, West, Widener, Castillo, and Ziegler are in a huge roundabout fight there. Free wide down and off turn number 2. Ziegler clearing down the gap there between Castillo as well. It looks like trying to get around the number 37, Chris Widener. Chris Widener right now trying to get back on that pace, trying to get back on the jump there as they move through the chains. The 4, Christopher Bell as well there, trying to see if he can calculate himself up a position to get further ahead and further along. Ziegler, though, moving the chains. Great drive. Got literally about 3 or 4 of them just on that spot alone. Back onto the gas right now here. Castillo doing whatever they can here as you see how tight the 14 taking these corners versus what Henry is doing. Henry, again, long run mindset, trying to calculate up a good run on the outside lane, trying to take full control and looking to make maneuvers where they can. Back lane there, choice, look out below. As you see now, it's West, Sullenberger, and now Ziegler. The inside, looking for the daily double. Looks like he might find it. Ziegler trying to get down there underneath, looking for a good runoff on the lane choice. Makes the move off, trying to push it right up ahead of 66 with Sullenberger, and is successful. Had to charge the bottom lane. Not a lane I don't think he was willing to really go to, but he had to in this case. A good move off as now Mayu is right there in the mix. Gaps now starting to change up a bit. Look for Stryver there. Actually, a big battle for that race lead. Henry taking side by side through lap traffic. Got past on the 9 of Chico, and now you've got yourself a new leader, the Dead Man, back in the race lead. And again, yet to change his racing line. He continues to go down towards the bottom lane and continues to run down that drive. Interesting strategy by all means and measures, but again, you do so much of that, you burn off those tires on the right sides, it will start to cause conflict. It will become more and more of an issue. Looking probably more to get to that pit road stop here when due time is already. You can see again how tight it is opened up with that dog leg, how you just have to kind of maneuver around and go straight to the bottom and have to go through some loops and some hoops and some huge increases in the bumps. Again, the overall elevation differences make a big run there on those machines, but unfortunately as well, with too much of that heat and friction, it also has a tendency to go screaming down onto the tire wear. And again, we've talked about it constantly over and over again. The more the tire wear burns up, the more it becomes harder and harder to maintain control and maintain distance. So far, this has been the longest green flag run lap they've had, and it's starting to show you like where each driver's mindset is and where everyone is playing into the field. But pit strategies are going to come up here shortly because fuel is going to run low. Running back down there, you see Joshua Fixon, number 83. He's got some company there on his back doorstep. Chris Weiner in the 37. Looking to try to move time, matter, and space into a glorious momentum boost, as well as jumping right up from that number 9 machine of Chico. Aaron Vogt there and the number 2. Supposed to be driving the number 22, but in this case kind of took a 2 off and tried to hide it from us. He's got the Timcast machine currently in a bit of a hodgepodge and trying to keep momentum up on the track as he continues to try to put the big bad Ford to good use. Right up ahead right now, you see as well lap traffic now up there for Corley. Corley unfortunately being put a couple laps down here and now has to deal with the race leaders as the 14 moves his chains up ahead. And still continuing to run that lane there. He's got company up on his back doorstep. Ziegler is well aware right now what the 14's up to. And now he's trying to use that long run gain, long run advantage. Again, running to that outside lane instead of going down to the bottom lane of the dogleg. He's actually starting to kind of find a little bit of that extra kick, that extra lift, if you will, to use for the later run. Watch this, it comes right off of turn number 4 there. You see much wider off the turn and much wider down from the lane and down from the elevation. Again, the 14 different area, but at the same time, they're all trying to hit the same vantage points into the turns. But the difference is, again, is that dog leg, again, very unique to Phoenix here, is the fact that it's a huge open-ended area that allows for a lot of opening and passing opportunities. We even saw that just last night there from the Truck Series finale as Kerry Hine was able to literally pull a 6-7 wide line drive, if you will, off of turn number 1 and 2. A big congratulations again on his championship, but it just shows you how much desperation and how much run you have to do. You will do whatever you can to find that extra boost, that extra give. Mayu right now doing a great job of that as well, as he's right now currently drafting off of Ziegler here. And again, the biggest thing too is that you can use that draft to your advantage to keep speed and momentum up. But here's the thing. get a little too close in there and too a little too far, and that dirty air is going to start being more of a factor in terms of actually allowing them to pass. It's actually pushing them farther and farther around and actually holding them down more as you go. And that's one thing we've talked about constantly with these aerodynamic machines on the bigger tracks constantly. You'll see them be able to cut through the air pretty good. When they can't, and that dirty air plays a huge factor, it's almost like a big slow job. It just pushes them further along and does not allow them to make any moves or any jumps wherever they feel like, and it really hurts them in this case. Continuing to maintain the distance in the drive right now here. Everyone just looking for whatever they can here. Hoping for a bit of an opportunity, a bit of a break here to kind of make through. With 20 laps now to go, Ziegler has caught the dead man. Looks like that shortening down on the track is starting to cost him a bit. He's getting very aggressive there on that bottom lane, and Ziegler is making him work for it. Getting word right now, the pit crews are yelling at Ziegler, Shriver, and Mayu, you need to get ready to get to pit road. And with enough fuel, they get 23 laps of fuel for the run. They should have enough to complete this race, barring anything else happens from there. Up on the outside lane right now. Big jump there from Ziegler. He's looking for him. Shriver, though, continuing to fight him off. He does not want anything to do with him. Trying to add him to his collection of skulls on the sides of that truck, I bet. And Ziegler says, no way, Jose. Brings it right down the inside lane. Big jump. Got a big run coming for the corner. This is where they usually make mistakes. Big opening there from Ziegler as Shriver oversells on the outside lane, driving a little too hard. Ziegler now beats the inside. Fresher tires and a little bit less wear and tear. You've got a new leader. Ziegler taking full control of the long run stint and making good use and work of it. And the old dead man now going to get put back about 6 inches back. At least it's not 6 feet down under like he says. You have to put him down to keep him down. Mayu right now looking on, trying to find his opening as well to pass the 14. As we now have only 17 laps left to go. Pit strategies are going to start to come into use and effect here. Joshua Fix now moving into the 4th spot. Coming off of the pit stops there from Vogt, Henry, Castillo, West, Weiner, Sullenberger, Horn, Bell, Lafico. And it looks like the 14 will head into pit road as well. So Mayu and Ziegler now will now run the gauntlet. When will they decide to go into pit road, and when will their choice be made? Looks like you got Vogt right behind him as well. See if maybe he's going to try and take tires or just go for the fuel run. I think tires right now probably would be a good idea on the right sides at least. Well, they're not taking all 4. That's a bit of a risky strategy, barring any of the cautions throw out, as Mayu has now stayed out. Ziegler is in pit road. We're getting word right now that Shriver and Ziegler both are saying we're going for right sides only. Only 2 tires will be put on. That could make the difference on the short, but if it turns into a long run, that could be a factor here. Steve Ziegler gets that pit stop in that he's looking for right now. He's going to pull it right in, looking for right sides only. Shriver has now returned to the track here. He's going to be a lap down, but he has only put on 2 sides and got a full tank of fuel. That open-ended pit stop down there, big difference maker. Ziegler got the right sides on now. Fix now looking to try to get his way back up in the top spot. He's going down low, sends it where he goes, and Mayu into pit road. Fix is now your new leader. And he's got Aaron Vogt right behind him there, trying to climb back up to the game plan there. Corley as well right now doing what he needs to here in this moment. Every driver for themselves here. Looks like Joshua, though, looks like he might be trying to head towards pit road. It's going to be a pit stop at 83. And this is starting to open the doors up quite a bit here. Henry has now moved back into the race lead. He's got Castillo, West, Shriver, and Ziegler hot on his trail, though. All calculations show if he can just hang on just for a good while longer and a good bit, he may have a chance to take this one in full advantage. Castillo now trying to gain some momentum back up in between there, as we got a great battle going on there right behind there between Shriver and Ziegler here. Castillo getting right up ahead of lap traffic there from the number 7 machine of Len Early. Laneri getting out of the way there and getting out of the mix. Look behind the row, three wide action there, right back in the pack there. I couldn't quite catch all of them, but that looks like Ziegler Driver, and it looks like the sixth of the Aussie Greg Hill. And Ziegler moving right up the chains here with only 12 laps left to go. Henry and Castillo going to try and see what they can do to ground pound down the lane. Driver going the extreme bottom lane. He's trying to find a way around Ziegler here as Ziegler continues to hold down his chains. Every driver for himself here, and again, little to no contact you've seen throughout. But now comes the enduring part, having to work through lap traffic. We've seen this before with short track. Lap traffic can be a huge difference maker. It slows down the leader just enough. It can give an opening to the one behind him. Ziegler going to stick to his guns, going to stay towards the outside lane. I think he's trying to hope for a bit of a break and a bit of a gap there. He seems to be doing a good job there, holding down that 14. I don't know if going that bottom lane, though, is working for the 14 anymore. It might be getting too much of a problem, as you see a big little slip up there from the number 16. Ziegler opened the door up, and now the 14 in trouble here. Needs to be focused and ready to hold down the lane. Right past lap traffic yet again. Lucio going to get out of the way. Down through the gaps here again, holding down the bottom run there again. You get more speed running towards the outside, but the tire wear is absolutely tremendous and hurts for quite a bit. You can see these things are almost throwing them around like dirt cars out there. They are nearly sideways off the exits. They are full send on these things right now. They will not give an inch, and right now has the strategy now paid off here. Oh, looks like Ziegler got a little company on his doorstep here. Driver's right there with him. He's on that back tailgate. He's going for what he can here. Henry right now saying he may be having a little bit of troubles with that tires here. They're catching up to him quick. He's trying to hold out and muscle along, but with only a 2.5 second gap, I don't know if Henry is going to be able to kind of keep up with that pace. Oh, he almost gets lambasted and smashed down from the number 83 of Joshua Fix. Manages to avoid that one. Good Lord. Henry still your leader, as you can see right there behind him. We've got our camera drone flying right in front of them. Don't worry, they can't quite get a good view advantage of that. They can't see it, but you can definitely see what's going on right there with Fix right in the mix. As you see Castillo farther and farther along there, Shriver and Ziegler, they are literally just battling one another at this point. I think it might be, I saw someone that took their lunch money from them. They are battling like it's literally the end of their days. It's like a personal rivalry already, and they just met each other today. Ziegler back on the inside now, trying to get a move off on Fix. Driver going to try to go for the draft line, looking for the crossover, and Ziegler, ooh, good move from the 16. Beautiful strategy there. He saw what the 14 was up to, trying to play his old trick. Use the draft and slingshot pass. Little Talladega Nights, if you will. But it did not quite work with only 6 laps left to go. Slowing down and off the pace as Henry. He's in pit road. He will not be able to complete it. You've got a 5-lap shootout coming up between the two leaders. Chad in the chat room right now saying it's going to be close. It will be a very close end to this one. 5 laps left to go. Ziegler and Shriver battling amongst each other, trying to fight and crack and claw for everything they got. Both drivers only running off right side tires. Full fuel run, and now with lap traffic ahead is the opportunity. It's set in stone. Ziegler knows he's got to go to that bottom and box Shriver off. He doesn't want him to get there. He knows he's going to try it. He gets right in there between with the number 4 there. Bell gets clapped a little bit there from Ziegler, and that opens the door for the 14. Seats to the inside. Shriver's going for a run here. He does a little bit lower than he's probably wanted to. He's trying to get everything he can, trying to find that momentum boost. But did he have enough time? He's got a good run on the inside, but again, the outside lane has got more rhythm, more run. Now has to go back on defense. Does Ziegler have to keep them off that draft line zone? Those corner entries and are going to be the inches of difference between success and failure. Which one makes the best move? Which one makes the mistake? Both drivers have been looking extremely solid, if not running at full speed, full run. Neither driver just wants to give an inch to the other. 3 laps left to go, but is the dirty air and the tire we're starting to get the 14? Oh, he might have been a little too aggressive there. Got way too loose and tight off at turn number 2. Got tight, then got it back in the gas after he found an opening, but he did not see it. Ziegler now can have a chance to cruise as the 14 gets past the 5 of Horn here. Ziegler looking for his first win debut set for Palmetto Racing League right now, and he's looking to finish it strong and get a first win even on Speed Zone TV. Off turn number 2 right now, Ziegler's going to have himself a big white flag. This next time on by, it was flying high green. This time we bring the big white out to the stage. White flag up in the air, and his 14 going to be waving his white flag because it looks like he's not getting up there to Ziegler. He's trying to get one last wrap, but I don't know if he's got enough time here. Lap traffic going to be a factor here as he works their way around Corley. Corley now being in the way for the 14. Driver looks like it may be too little too late anyway. He's doing whatever he can. Corley just gets a little squirrely off of 2. Doesn't matter anyway. Ziegler had him beat from point A to point B after that one. He's your winner here in Phoenix on number 16. Great showing there on that long run and there from Aaron Ziegler. Full send, full throttle, and did not lift an inch or give an inch to that 14 of the dead man. Castillo as well, nothing to be ashamed of there. 3rd place for him, and Mayu, wonderful run there from the 4th spot, and West getting a nice top 5 after a little bit of trouble last time out of Martinsville. But how about that 16, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Ziegler? He can even get a little respect from the dead man, if you will. A little rev of the engine saying, hey, you did it this time, but next time it won't be so easy to beat me again. But nevertheless, Aaron Ziegler, absolutely deserving of this win. What a performance there. Pit strategy came into play, made the moves when he needed to, got just one step ahead, and managed to make the long run work. And even, what makes it even crazier, having to deal with that extremely troublesome last bit of strategy there from the positions there from the lap traffic. Quick second here, we'll see if our drivers will come and chat with us there. There is your race winner there, Aaron Ziegler. What a performance yet again. Tight throughout, fought, scratched, and clawed every last bit of that position there. You can't help but just tip your hat off to him and give the nod to him as well. You're not going to be getting anybody in for this one here, so we'll go ahead and get ready to start closing up the show here tonight. Race fans, a big congratulations to our top 5 there. Again, West, Mayu, Castillo, Shriver, and Ziegler. Aaron Ziegler coming out on top, pulling up one heck of performance here and just taking it down the house. Did not give an inch and did not let anything to chance. A big thank you again to Workman Outdoors and VB Racing for helping us come onto the stage here. Again, Workman Outdoors and VB Racing sponsoring here for tonight, as well as for Palmetto Racing League. Fans, drivers alike here, this is your final finishers here. And again, a who's who of drivers just absolutely fighting and scratching and clawing, doing whatever they could just to even try and get into the top honors and try to get into the top spots. And you just could tell they worked extremely hard and through just to get to this point. Well, race fans, I guess that'll but do it for tonight's action here. A big thank you again to our sponsors. Big thank you to everyone that tuned on in. Until we see you guys next time on the show next week, we will be having quite another season go around here. Next time out, we are heading to Homestead Miami Speedway, and then we'll have an off week after that. And then after that off week, prepare yourselves because things are going to get a little dirty when we go to Eldora. But for now, race fans, that will all but can do it. We'll see you at Homestead next week. Big thank you to everyone that tuned in. We'll see you next time when the green flag flies right here on Speed Zone TV.